This victims group is really important.
Yes.
It's set up by a Tory MP because he thinks so often when there's a court case or a sentencing that the victims come as second best.
Yeah.
And lots of different... Well, for instance, Sarah Everard's family are supporting this committee. We're going to be talking to the parents of a little 4-year-old Ivor, and they didn't get the justice they felt they deserved for their little girl.
Yeah, I've always said some of the most moving interviews we ever do on this show, some of the most amazing women that we meet are the mothers, the grieving mothers who turn that grief into energy and try and change things. We're going to be talking to one couple this morning, that and a lot more. First, though, the very latest news with Tatiana Sanchez.
It's Spring Statement Day, live across the UK, Britain's Newsroom with Andrew Pearce and Bev Turner.
Now, heartbroken. Buying chocolate, I just imagine it being melted. It's a Lindt product, so I guess it's just for Easter.
I suppose. I don't know. I don't like chocolate and I don't like Dubai.
We're trying to get a hold of some this morning so we can taste it in the studio and work out what all the fuss is about. I'm not a massive chocolate fan either, to be completely honest. When we have our cup of tea at 11 o'clock and we have a little biscuit, I don't mind if you bring me in a little bit of chocolate then. That's probably quite a nice time to have it. But listen, it's a big day from our economics point of view in this country. The Spring Statement. Rachel Rees, what do you think she's doing right now?
Rewriting her speech and rewriting her speech and rehearsing her speech and rehearsing her speech because she has got a problem. She sounds like a robot, and what she's going to tell us, I think, is going to be deeply, deeply depressing. I'm
not sure it matters, Andrew, what she talks like.
I think it does.
What she tells us today.
When people hear on the radio, or any speaker on the radio who sounds robotic, off it goes.
Well, hopefully you won't be turning us off this morning or the rest of today, because the Spring Statement will be live at 12:30. As you've seen, we've got reporters all around the country to tell us and to tell you what we need from the money in our bank account, the money in our back pockets, what would help us. A lot to get through this morning. It's a big day. First, the very latest news with Tatiana Sanchez. The elites should decide. I mean, we know we live in a judicial world, a country, but isn't that the problem? Is because actually that's very detached from what most people paying their taxes feel about the fairness.
Well, indeed, I'll go one further. Let me first of all say my bar for deportation would be a 6-month suspended sentence or more. And also the other thing I would do, I'll go one further from the point of view that any foreigner in our jail that's got 6 months suspended or actually in prison should be deported back to their original country to serve their sentence out. Now, for example, the cost of I managed to dig this up this morning. Don't ask me how. The cost of a prisoner in Albania is £3,984 a year, compared to Britain, which is £52,000 a year. Now, we'd be saving ourselves billions of pounds if we deport these people. We'd have spare space for all other real criminals that we have in this country. And I think we'd be a far, far happier, far wealthier country as a result. But
to Shoaib's point, if that criminal has 3 children that live here, at school here, can't move back, never get to see their dad, is that... You know, do you feel anything for those kids?
Well, the wife and the kids can join him in the country that he came from. You know, I'm sorry, it's not my responsibility. You know, if you go out there, for example, let's take the example that somebody Britain did want to report, Adil Ray, who was one of the abusers of little girls in Rochdale. You know, the judge said at the time of his sentences, you have shown no remorse for your crime. He did not think he'd done anything wrong. Yeah. These people should not be in this country. I've read, when it comes to sort of the grooming gangs, I've read testimony after testimony from judges that the people that are in front of them have, do not feel that they have done one scrap of of conduct wrong. And these people should not be in our country. No, I'm sorry. It makes me so angry.
That's exactly my point. What if he had shown remorse? What if he had immediately apologized? What if he was begging the police and the public immediately confessed? He said, I've done something wrong, locked me in there for 10 years. Does that make a difference or not? And that's exactly my point. Of course, it should make a difference. In any humane system, we need to look at each case separately. What if he has 3 disabled British children at home? Why should they be removed to Nigeria, Albania, India, Pakistan, where we know they will be mistreated?
I'm sorry.
And it's about the British children I'm talking about.
Personal responsibility. Most crimes are
one at a time, gentlemen.
Most crimes.
Yeah, Dave.
Sorry, yeah. Most crimes that are committed, violence and grooming, for example, are premeditated crimes. These people had time to think about what they were doing. When someone goes out and these grooming gangs kept hold of these girls for years and years and years. There wasn't a case it was a one-off thing, and I've had too much to drink and oh dear, I've been a naughty boy. This was pre-planned, this is premeditated, and they went out, with malice of intent to go and abuse girls from the age of 6 to 15. I'm sorry, these people should not be in a civilized country. And they should be in their place of birth or nationality.
Shoaib, if you want to come back on that.
Yes. I mean, firstly, the very first words you just said, most criminals or most grooming. Why are you saying most then? If either you're saying all or you say, because that's the policy you're suggesting, everyone. And that's my point. Every case is different. And you're saying, this went on for years and years. What if it had only happened once?
Okay.
What if he was chatting to an underage girl once over the internet? He got sent to prison and now he's really remorseful. But no, his children should lose their father for life.
Well,
I think it's ridiculous.
You must have heard that. You must have heard
One at a time. One at a time. Shab, can I ask you? I'm going to ask you a very specific question, Shab. Would you deport any foreign criminals from our jails?
Yes, I mean, I think some need to be. I don't think as many as we do, but yes, some could be. I mean, like I said,
on what basis would they go? What basis would they go? Why would you deport some and not others? Which ones would you deport?
They just recently arrived in the country and they've committed a very serious crime. They have no family ties here. They've never contributed to the country. They never worked here. And that's the thing, I think we keep thinking about these people as if, they must be illegal here. But no, anyone who's not British, those are foreign criminals. They might have been born in the UK, been here for so many years, just never got a British passport. They might be working here, paying taxes, working for the NHS. They've got children at home. Why are we deporting them? That's ridiculous.
OK, gentlemen, thank you so much. Well, and also, all credit to Jonathan Brash, Labour MP, who's making it OK to have this conversation.
Absolutely right.
Shoaib Khan, Dave Atherton, thank you so much. Great to see you both. Back to Britain's newsroom on GB News with Andrew Pearce and Bev Turner.
Well, a crime victim group called Justice for Victims has been set up today by people who have first-hand and often shocking experience of serious crime.
Often they've lost loved ones and want sentencing policies to deliver proper punishment to the worst offenders.
I'm talking now to the Tory MP, Dr Kieran Mullen, who's also the party...
And Glenn Ewans, who tragically lost their 4-year-old daughter, Violet Grace, at the hands of a dangerous driver. And in that same incident, Becky, your mum, because Grandma was taking Violet Grace crossing the road and got hit by a... How might it have been different if you felt like justice had been served?
I think for us, this is one...
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Right, Spring Statement Day. We're going to be having that in just a minute. But first of all, let's have a look at some of the weather overseas.